Yeah, I mean, to your allusion to the gladiator combat, it is kind of giving like last days of Rome.
It
feels
that way.
You know, I don't know that that's really the imagery that people want to see when real people are actually worried about their day-to-day lives. They're very unhappy with what this White House is doing, what this president is doing. And then for him to have a triumphal UFC match outside of the White House, that by the way, the construction
to mark the emperor's birthday,
and the construction project that it has required to even put this together is enormous.
See, Donald Trump's White House UFC spectacle has hit another speed bump, and ready for it? Even Joe Rogan isn't enthused. That's right, the UFC's most famous commentator, the podcaster who helped Trump reach young men, the guy whose audience is basically the exact demographic this event is designed to impress, is saying that the White House fight is, quote, odd, and that he does not like the idea of staging UFC bouts outside.
The White House thing is odd. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of fighting outside at all.
Well, there's problems with it.
And then
done it too many times.
June, and it's DC, and we looked it up the last time, like last year, same day, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
hot as fuck.
And then you add the lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lights.
You add the lights.
Yeah,
that attracts bugs.
I mean, they were talking about maybe using fans. Is that enough?
No, it's not
You
enough.
got bug strips everywhere. What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to stop the bugs? I just don't think that you should compete in a world championship fight in a non-controlled environment.
Now, this comes as Trump has faced some embarrassing news with several artists pulling out of these scheduled events around the UFC fight. But according to The Hill, Rogan pushed back on the UFC event planned for the White House as part of America's 250th anniversary celebration, stating, quote, the White House thing is odd, before going on to discuss why it poses professional difficulties. And the thing is, as I mentioned, this comes as more and more artists are pulling out of the, quote, Great American State Fair scheduled around the celebration, as has been reported here by Ben on the MeidasTouch network.
The Commodores recently posted the following. The Commodores will not be performing at the Great American State Fair. Our music has always been our voice, and we choose not to publicly affiliate with any single political party. We support the betterment of all Americans, is what they posted. Martina McBride, late afternoon, yesterday evening, early evening, posted the following. I would like to talk to you and clear the air. I will not be performing at the Great American State Fair on June 25th. I was presented with an opportunity to perform at a nonpartisan event, but that turned out to be misleading. I asked a lot of questions and was assured this was a nonpartisan event that was meant to celebrate all 50 states. In my mind, I thought this was a great way to celebrate the states and also bring people together in the way that only music can. I saw it as just a bigger version of so many state fairs I have performed at over the years, celebrating community and what makes each state special. Sounds fun, right? Wholesome even. Yesterday, things started changing, and what we were told is, in fact, not what was happening. I've spent my entire career singing songs about real people with real issues. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be a voice for those who have felt like they didn't have one. It greatly upsets me that any fan who has been moved by my music may now feel like I'm abandoning the meaning behind those songs. I assure you that is not the case. I appreciate every single fan who has reached out. I hope to get back to the DC area soon. Martina McBride. Then we heard from Young MC, who posted the following. I have informed my agents that I will not be performing at the Freedom 250 event. The artists were never told about the political connection. I literally only saw the Freedom 250 affiliation this morning. So that's it. I will not be performing. I hope to perform in DC at an event that is truly non-political. Thank you. Morris Day in the Time posted, contrary to rumor, Morris Day in the Time will not be performing at the, quote, Great American State Fair. Then there was a message posted from the real Milli Vanilli regarding the Freedom 250 performances. So here was the statement from the real Milli Vanilli. The real surviving half of Milli Vanilli does a truth smackdown. And here's what they say. The original real vocalist of Milli Vanilli, Jody Rocco, Linda Rocco, Brad Howell, John Davis, and Charles Shaw will not be performing their hits live at the Great American State Fair. Others using the name Milli Vanilli that appear on the advertisement should be considered a tribute band with no association vocally or musically to our sounds or songs. And it gives an about the Milli Vanilli. And then it turns out that someone named Fab Morvan, one of the two faces of the pop group who was not actually responsible for singing any of their hits, says that he's been the one speaking with Trump and that he will be performing.
Hey, yo, man. I just got some texts all day. I kind of been out the loop. And people talking about, yo, free. Yo, you doing the Trump Freedom Show. Yo, you doing the show on the 250th anniversary of the U.S. with Donald Trump. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, man, social media, boom, boom, boom. People commenting on it. You know, fucking with Trump. Celebrity niggas is calling me up. Niggas I've known for years who know I don't fuck with Trump. Nigga, I'm Dog Cypher Devon. I know where I stand. I know who the fuck I am. So I'm like, what are you talking about? My agent called me about 3 months ago and said, yo, you want to do a show the 25th in Washington? Yeah, I just did a show in Washington for the Mystics. I did a show 6 months ago in Washington. I do shows in Washington all the time. It's no big deal. He says, yeah, he didn't say nothing about Trump. He didn't mention Trump. So I'm getting all these calls. So I go online. I'm like, okay, so what's going on? So I told my agent, yeah, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. You know what I mean? But then as I thought about it, I'm getting all these texts telling me about we gonna cancel C&C Music Factory, and we can't believe this is gonna be a terrible show. Vanilla Ice, Young MC, and fucking, Milli Vanilli and Brett Michaels, and it's a terrible show anyway. Let me tell y'all niggas something. I don't fuck with Trump. I don't give a fuck about Trump. I don't give a fuck about Trump family. I don't know the nigga. I'm from New York. I know the nigga. I know the type of fucking anarchy he creates. But the day I let you motherfuckers tell me what to do is the day I die. I want to make that shit motherfucking crystal clear. I do not live for none of you niggas. I will vote, listen, I will vote for fucking Genghis Khan, Hitler.
The White House event has been framed as part of America's 250th celebration, with Reuters reporting that construction of a cage fighting arena is transforming the White House grounds with a temporary octagon, scaffolding, giant screens, and seating for more than 4,000 spectators on the South Lawn. The event is scheduled for June 14th, coinciding with Trump's 80th birthday, with larger viewing areas expected throughout the premises. So the issue that Trump seems to be facing with this is the optics, right? It's pretty obvious. This is not just a sports event. It is Trump turning the White House into a backdrop to inflate his ego.
Do you know more about what this fight is going to look like?
Well, we have some details. So for one, we know where it's going to be broadcast. It's going to be streamed on Paramount Plus. We know that it's going to be roughly six matches, and we know that it's going to be a sizable crowd, but it's not going to be too big. Most of the people that are going to get tickets are going to be military and their families, but a lot of other people are going to be jockeying to get access, Anderson, because not only will the president be in attendance, but of course you can imagine many cabinet officials and people from his inner circle.
It will be a huge ticket to get for those in power. Critical ticket. And one thing we're hearing is that lobbyists are trying so hard in Washington to get their CEOs and their corporate executives access, because it's a banner to how close you are to the president, how much influence you have over him if you can make it into this event. This is not like getting a ticket to the White House Correspondents' Dinner or a party. This is going to be very selective. And one thing Axios has reported is that the president himself is in the process of approving some of these tickets.
But said optics have been a major cause for concern because across the board, the country is struggling. Americans are dealing with high prices, gas pressure tied to the Iran war, anxiety about the economy, so much so that Fox News can't help but admit it on air. And there's anger over affordability. People are exhausted with spectacle politics. As I said, Fox's poll recently found 77% of voters say the economy is in bad shape. And they also found that 58% say the cost of living is their top economic concern.
Report, okay. Yeah. Lauren, you got it.
Okay, so April saw a big jump in inflation tied to gas prices. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge hitting 3.8%, in line with expectations, a 3-year high, and a big step up from 3.5% in March. Okay, take out energy, take out food, your core level, a more modest 3.3%. Bottom line here is the report is little comfort for those hoping the Fed would cut rates and little comfort for those on Main Street. Inflation is wiping out wages. If you looked at the income levels last month, flat, spending levels way up. And then we got the GDP read, the revision for the first 3 months of the year, revised down to 1.6%.
I have a question about Congress's approval of wars. Where are you stepping in? The Strait of Hormuz was open until he attacked. There was no nuclear bomb there. You keep saying that you're going to make a deal to reopen the strait. That was already open. You're making everything unaffordable. We can't afford gas. We can't afford health care. What is Congress going to do?
Well, I can tell you that, first of all, we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want them to have a dirty bomb. And I think we all have that shared concern.
So think about that, right? Cost of living is a problem. That's the context, because people are not looking to the White House and saying, you know what we really need is an octagon. They're saying, please, can you make groceries cheaper? And this is happening while the Iran war continues to go unresolved. So when people are struggling with affordability and watching a war continue overseas, which is impacting them at the pump, the White House UFC event risks looking less like a national celebration and more like a distraction, a very expensive looking distraction, because even if private money covers part of it, the White House, as I mentioned, is a public space, which means more resources designated to Trump doing whatever the hell he wants with the White House grounds. But remember, it was a real issue when Obama had a basketball court put up. And Rogan is not alone in raising concerns. I mean, MMA Fighting reported that there was questions about outdoor conditions, pointing to heat, dehydration, lighting, and other risks that come into play. Rogan even compared it to holding a championship basketball game in intense sun and argued that fighters deserve a controlled indoor environment. But I'm not going to get into the logistics of the fight itself. It's obvious that they're trying to sell it. And that's why Dana White is on every single platform to do so, because Trump's cultural power depends on the illusion of total enthusiasm. It's why when he goes to sporting events, they try to drown out the boos and just show people applauding him. However, the problem is spectacle works when the public feels good about certain things. When people feel prosperous, a big celebration can feel patriotic, if that's what he's intending. But when people feel squeezed, spectacle just looks like yet another example of wealthy people entertaining themselves while everyone else budgets. While Americans are telling posters that the economy is bad and they're desperate, the president is looking for another distraction from a presidency struggling with war, prices, and public frustration.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.